We had a little bit of rain last night, so not quite sure how much yet. What's that? Nearly 10 mils. Ideally I would have liked a little bit more, but I'm not being picky at the moment. I'll take what I get. But good morning, guys. So I've got a bale of hay on the back. I'm just going up to feed out to the heifers. All the cows have been shifted. These girls are getting a bale of silage. I fed out to them before. Doesn't feed out these dry bales particularly well. They don't go around very easy, but they're only getting half for this, so the other half tomorrow. There we go, it's starting to go now. So that's probably about half there. So I'd usually just feed the other half out in tomorrow's break, but there is a chance of rain again tonight, so I don't really want this sort of hay stuff going real mushy if we did get a little bit overnight. But the heifers are actually in the cowshed this morning. Dad's put them in here. We're just going to run them through because we have made the decision that we're going to teat seal them next week, and to be able to teat seal them, the techs want you to run them through so that when they come here on the day, they're not trying to fight them to get into the shed, which can be a bit of a problem for these girls. So we actually did it yesterday for the first time, so they should be alright today. Go on, Ann, have a look. So they're going through pretty well. Probably put them through once and then do it again.
Yeah. Yep.
Many times, or as much as possible. It's a nice heifer there, eh? That one, 55. Going pretty well. I've stopped them sort of going up this side, otherwise it creates a bit of a cluster at the sort of pinch point up there. But they're doing pretty well. I've never done this before, run them through the shed. Some people like to do it every year just to get them used to it, so when they do calve and they come in, it makes it easier. But we usually don't sort of bother with it, but I don't know, sort of picking it up pretty quick. So that'll be 4 times in 2 days, and now I think we'll just, or I might do it again tomorrow for a couple of times, and I should be alright. The only downside is that you've got to wash the shed after you do it, but I think it's worth it. But I think they're looking pretty good. Interesting to see how they go. It'd be nice to put a little bit more weight on them before calving. But we've still got another 8 or 9 weeks, so should be able to do that. It's a nice heifer right there, isn't it, that one? What are you, 56? 26. We call this paddock the tractor shed paddock because obviously there's a tractor shed right there. But we put them in here because the cow shed is only 100 metres just over there, so it's nice and close and easy when we're doing this. But Dad was just saying he's actually going away for an eye operation today, so he's down for a couple of days. So I'm going to run him through the shed tomorrow again like that, and then probably in the weekend when he's feeling a little bit better, we might try and close the gate and then sort of line them up in the pit so they get used to that. Yeah, just be easier with 2 of us. I think that might be a little bit more of a mission, but it'd be sort of good to do it. I was also thinking that since they're sort of getting used to it, I'd like to tag them as well. I won't do it till after we teat seal, but usually what happens is that when they calve and they come in the shed for that first milking, I usually give them their cow tag then. But I was thinking it'd be quite nice for them all to have cow tags when they're calving. It just makes it so much easier, not having to write down heifer numbers and then going and filling out cow numbers later on. So I think I might try that this year, make life a little bit easier for myself. So that rain last night, we also had a little bit about when did we get 10 mils? It would have been about a week ago maybe, and then we have had a few dews, so it has helped things tick over. But I'm just over here at the new grass that I planted back in March, and it's pretty crazy to think that this had like 6 weeks growth and this is all that's grown. But I was a little bit worried because you can see big patches like this where sort of nothing's really established. And Lee from Wrightson's came out the other day and we did have a little look through, and there's still seed in the ground just sitting there. Oh look, there's a bit of clover coming through there, so I'm hoping, in the grass. Oh yeah, there's another grass shoot coming up through there. So I'm hoping that I do get like a second germination and it sort of fills out a little bit better than what it looks like, because you can see up there, like it looks pretty good, but it's just around this sort of hillside which I was trying to fix that it's sort of a little bit patchy. But give it another, I don't know, week or two and it'll be interesting to see. It certainly helps though, it is still warm at the moment. I'm almost a little bit too hot in this jacket, so that's going to get things pumping. This is the next paddock over, but this paddock looks unreal, so it's looking pretty good. Look at that. Pretty happy with it. Nice thick grass down the bottom here. Same thing though, you can sort of see patches like this that are a little bit bare, but you can see shoots that they are coming through now, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, give it a bit of time and it might not be as bad as it looks. And these are the 2 paddocks that I put Winter Star in, and to be honest it's pretty hard to see because there's grass already here. So if you come over here to where it's a bit, where I burnt this the pile of sticks, you can see that it's definitely growing. Look at that, it's probably about an inch tall. So it's away, it's germinated and looking good. This stuff's supposed to grow like stink, so give it another week or two and you should be able to notice a difference, hopefully. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to it. Check it out. So I took the door off the shed yesterday. Everything's sort of removed from inside and it's starting to look pretty bare, so I have removed pretty much everything out of this cow shed. Look at that, there's nothing really here anymore. So it's looking all good because the digger is supposed to be turning up today at some point. I'm not quite sure when, maybe it'll be this afternoon, and if not today it will definitely be tomorrow, because he is going to start demolishing the cow shed, which I've been looking forward to for a long time. Taking everything out, so it's pretty much just a shell now. I took the gates out at the front. I was going to cut these down, but then they're connected to those beams up there, so I thought, the digger can just rip them out, it'd be easier. So yeah, it's looking pretty bare. And Mace came out yesterday, who sort of manages it, and put these lines in. So I'm going to follow this crack line through there and going to rip everything out that way, so that bit of concrete will probably stay. Although once he sort of pulls it up, we'll have a look and see what's under it, because if that's just put on top of other concrete, might try and rip that out too. So yes, getting very excited. One other little thing too is that somebody from town is coming out to get this chiller unit. They're going to take that and sell it, I think, because it's worth something. But apart from that, it's ready to go. And a bit of an update on the cover here. So the covers work wonders. There's no more holes on the face here, and I know that it was definitely rats that were doing it, because I came down the night that we put the cover on, and with a spotlight, my shotgun, I was only using trap ammo and I shot 12 rats. So it was pretty fun shooting, and then I came down a couple of nights ago and shot another 3 or 4. But they are still getting in to areas where the cover doesn't go, so we're a bit short on the back, which is a bit annoying, and you can see they've made holes in here. But I did shoot one that was just standing there. So next year I'm going to pull this cover back over the edge. It was only because I only had the one that sort of run a little bit short there, but now I know I've got heaps of it, so that'll be right. And they are still getting underneath the cover and into the sides, but at least it sort of saved the face now. If I just chip away, keep spotlighting them, try and shoot a few every now and then, sort of increase the rat bait, hopefully it'll take care of a lot of them. You're never going to get them fully gone, but I also was thinking that while the digger's here, I might try and get him to sort of scrape away the edge where all these tyres are, sort of tidy that up so there's not all the long grass. Like I can spray it, but if I get the digger to sort of clear it, it'll sort of tidy that up and look a lot better and give them less places to hide. Check it out! Digger's here. They dropped it off for 4. It's about 5 o'clock. Reese is going to be driving it, but it was he's not going to start on it tonight. I was a bit late, so he's going to be here in the morning. I think somewhere between like 7 and 7:30, so early start. And then he is going to tackle the shed, which is going to be awesome. So there's about a week's worth of digger work here, maybe a little bit more. So I'll see you in the morning. Well, morning again, so I'm just going to feed the heifers, shift some cows. Dad had his operation last night. I think it went pretty well. But he's got to check up today and then he'll be back home. I don't think he can do much for the next couple of days. But Reese has made a start with the digger. We haven't started knocking the cowshed down yet. He's just scraping some topsoil off this rotten rock. But when he pulls down the shed over there, we're going to need to lift this bottom edge about 1.5 meters up, so it's all flat for the base that he's doing. And it's cheaper, or we thought it was going to be cheaper to use this stuff that's here already instead of trucking stuff in. We're still going to have to truck some sand and stuff in, but we might as well use what's here. But Reese is just saying maybe we should get the bully here and sort of smooth out this paddock while we're at it. So it's probably a day's worth of work, maybe a little bit more. So it's something to think about. I'm pretty keen because at least it would tidy the paddock up. Like he said, he's going to have to scratch most of it up, probably half a hectare to get all this sort of rotten rock. So it would sort of make sense. I need to put it to Dad. Dad's probably not too keen because it's just another expense. And we're not milking at the moment, so we've got no income coming in. But I don't know, what do you do? Tough decisions. Have a think about it. Got the day to sort of think about it. He's going to be here for a week, so we can do it sort of any time. I really need to get a new wiper blade. Haven't really had the chance to use it much lately, so I haven't worried about it. But it's actually like raining, which is pretty cool. Oh, it looks pretty open in here now. No roof. It's looking good. Well, it's looking a bit different now. I just had a meeting with Corson deciding what varieties of maize to grow for next year, and I've just picked the same ones that I did this year. But man, look at that, what a difference. What a difference. It's opened this area up a heap. It's actually breaking down pretty good, all this. Well, it's all cinder blocks, but it's all broken up into pretty small pieces. You can see that there is quite a drop now from this corner right down to there, so it's going to take a fair bit of building up. But he's actually getting through it pretty well, so it is about, I think it's about 11 o'clock now. Restarted about 7:30, so what's that? That's 3.5 hours of digging, and he's going alright considering he dug up all the topsoil over there. So It's going far better than I expected. Although he might say something different. And I've just made the call that we are going to get the bulldozer in. Mace is going to come have a look and see what he reckons, but we were going to dig a hole and put all this concrete in it just here somewhere, and then just leave it exposed so we could use the concrete for drainage at another point or another summer. But what Reese is saying is that we'll sort of knock the ridge off over there into the bottom of that hill. So I'm saying, well, why don't we just dig out the bottom of the hill, get some of the clay out there, which we can use for packing in there, and then put some of the concrete in to fill it up. So that would get sort of rid of it, or hopefully quite a lot of it. So that's the plan going forward. It is spending more money, but I think it's probably worth it in the end to sort of do it properly now, rather than having to do it at another point. I can stand here all day and watch, it's quite interesting. But it's looking so much better. It's going to look really different, I think, once the tank stand's gone. So hopefully someone's going to get that unit soon and then you can make a start on that. It's going to look real different, I reckon. It's also been drizzling for most of the day, which is good. Everything's pretty wet, so it's certainly helping. Well, there's a little break in the weather. It's actually been raining for the last couple of hours. I've had a few meetings. I had one with Martha because going forward for next season she needs to prescribe the drugs for the cows that I need and to authorise it. So that's all done and dusted really. But Reese has sort of called it quits for the day because it just got a little bit too wet for him, which is fine. You can see he's sort of cleaned up around here. We're going to have a little look and see what he's got up to, because I think he's done a pretty good job. The vat stand is still upright, but the chiller has gone. Somebody came and picked that up before. And he's sort of tidied up all this. So this is where the old veggie garden was. It's looking pretty good. He also pulled that topsoil off the top of that turnaround there. And just making a bit of a pile over there. So one of the tractors has turned up. Tractor and trailer, we're going to use that to cart away the concrete. Maybe tomorrow, might get onto that. But look at that, check it out. So no shed no more. Crazy, eh? There's a bit of concrete there. There's the pile of all the beams that were in the middle holding the roof up. And then that's all the roofing iron there, so it's in a sort of a neat pile. But he also dropped off the bully before, so it looks like it is a D4. And it'll do the job just fine. So I don't think he's going to get onto that for a little while, but it's just there for when he does, or if he sort of comes to a stop somewhere, at least he can jump on that and move a little bit of dirt. And this is the ridge that I was telling you about. So you can see it is quite hard to see on camera. Maybe I'll go and stand down there. Maybe that'll be a better angle. It is quite hard to see on the camera, but you can sort of see the ridge that sort of runs up there. It's not very big. It's just sort of humped like that. And his plan is that we're just going to put all the concrete in there, like I was telling you earlier on, and then push all this sort of clay over. Put the topsoil back so it's just a nice flat paddock through here, which will look really cool. He also sort of cleaned out this pond as much as he could get the boom to. Cleaned up all the weeds that were growing around the edges, so that's all sorted now. There's the plants there, there's a few piles. You can see there's another one over there and over there. I made some of these bait stations yesterday, just an overflow, and I put bait on that wire in the middle there, and there's none there, so that is awesome to see, because I seen quite a few rats were running down and living in the long grass here. And there's one more over there. Now I see that's still got bait on it, but it has been chewed out. I'll leave that one there. And that's just the other scrap pile, so I've just been adding a bit of iron and other poles to it. But heck, it's looking pretty good, eh? And that's really only after sort of half a day, I guess, because I think he finished up at, when did I come back from town? About 2 o'clock, and he wasn't here. Dad said he'd sort of left a little bit before that. Another full day at it though, and it's going to look pretty interesting. Start moving some of that concrete and start building up the pad. I guess you're wondering why we're building a pad there, but you'll find out probably in the next video. I'll give it away what we're actually planning to do in the space of that shed. Have a little look, and in there it says there is 22 millimeters, which I actually tipped out yesterday, so that's awesome. That's what we want to see, a few more days like that. Will certainly help the soil moisture, but I thought I'd just come and check on this one. And what does it say? We've had 16.5 millimeters in there, and I'm sure that I tipped that out yesterday too, so they've had the same amount. It's not like there was water left in the other one. I don't know, maybe it's that tree there's sort of blocking a bit of the rain that should be coming in there, because 5 millimeters, it's quite a big difference. It's actually like, what is it, 5.5, 6, so it's quite a big difference. But that'll pretty much wrap it up for today's video, guys, so I really hope you enjoyed it, and other than that, I'll see you next time.